Well, against my better judgment, I have decided that the show must go on. We're going to go live regardless of the fact that you have an incredible heavyweight battle going on right now in the NFL. But hey, look, I've got a schedule, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 8 o'clock. I'm going to stick to the schedule. And here we are. I'm going to be shocked if any of you watch this live because of how incredible this game is right now. So you're in the fourth quarter. Chiefs have a 3-point lead. There's been 5 lead changes in the game. This is, it's incredible. I've got it up, honestly, and I don't blame you if you guys have it up either. But we are live, and so we'll talk for at least a little while. But I do want to see the end of this game. So if you guys are here and chatting, we'll do it all throughout the course of the game. I've got it up, so let's have some fun. And glad you guys are here. My name is Michael Borky. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and leave a comment after the fact. If you're watching when this is over, that's okay. Please still leave a comment and all that stuff. I see them. I interact with them. I appreciate the Auburn fan during the last live stream. So there's a video between live streams that I posted. The last live stream that when I said an American court is not going to allow restriction of people if they're not employees. And he commented, "You obviously have never been on parole, or you've obviously never been to jail." Hey, no, I have not. That is something that I have avoided somehow in my life, and that's okay. I have not been to jail, but I do appreciate all of the comments, including the ones that are trying to shame me for not being a jailbird. But no, that's I appreciate all of you, and so let's get started. The title is "The Transfer Portal Can't Stop, Won't Stop," because I thought that there was a deadline. Didn't you? I thought that there was a point where this came to where like nothing more could happen, and yet here we are. As we sit on January 21st. Now, Ole Miss is a huge benefactor of this. It hurt them with a guy like Tyler Barron, but it's helping them now with essentially his replacement on the defensive line enrolled. And you've got visitors apparently coming to Ole Miss, BJ Green being one, and then Nate Kalepo, if I'm saying that correctly, the other, coming in for visits like today. So the transfer portal never, ever stops. It just doesn't. And so, yeah, I guess as early as tomorrow, we'll be talking about a couple of new commitments to Ole Miss. Haydad brought up on the show this week, and frankly, he's right. There's whether it's intentional or not, Mississippi State in the first portal window, frankly, did a really poor job of adding transfer portal players. We're not even talking about quality, just numbers. I mean, look at the volume of guys they're replacing on defense. And they just didn't add anybody. And so the spring window either has to be super active or your expectations for year one's defense should be extremely low, because they're going to enter spring practice very, very thin and lacking in spots in at least proven talent as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, when it comes to Ole Miss, more visitors incoming, positions of need, because the transfer portal cannot stop and will not stop. We've had NFL games so far. Again, there's one right now. It's amazing. I can't believe I'm talking to you guys. I can't believe there's some of you guys in here during this game, but I appreciate you. Chiefs-Bills is delivering everything we hoped it would. Bucks-Lions was awesome. I know Baker Mayfield threw the bad interception to seal it, but he's a free agent this year. Tampa's nuts if they don't try to re-sign him. Now, they need to be economical with the contract that they offer him, but I liked the Baker Mayfield redemption story. You know, it didn't work out in Cleveland because it never works out in Cleveland for anybody until now anyway. Oh, there's a fake punt too, and he's not going to get it. Oh, no, Buffalo. Oh, no. On their own 35. Wow. What a turn of events. What a risky play call in the fourth quarter. Yikes. Anyway, But I liked the redemption arc for Baker Mayfield. I'm not even particularly a big fan of his, but I do like the redemption arc. Going to Cleveland, being in LA, being in Charlotte, not really working out, and then he goes to Tampa to replace Tom Brady. Baker Mayfield goes to Tampa to replace Tom Brady and wins the division and wins a playoff game. So good for him. But Buffalo is the best story. It goes to show what people like me actually know, which is nothing. You guys remember when Dan Campbell was hired? It was universally mocked, especially after his press conferences. But you had certain media grifters that were applying certain, and the Chiefs responded with a touchdown. Unbelievable. Oh, no, he got pushed out at the 5. But you had grifters saying that he got that position because of one thing, and then you had everybody else just kind of mocking him. I mean, his press conference, he was very much himself, and people didn't know who Dan Campbell was yet, and so they just kind of made fun of it. And well, the Lions are just going to be stuck in mediocrity. And initially, like right away, it didn't work. And look at him now. I mean, when you coach with such passion and love for the game and your players, they play hard for you and they want to win for you. Imagine that. So Dan Campbell is the story of the NFL season, and the Lions are as well. He fumbled through the end zone. Oh my gosh, he fumbled through the end zone. I can't believe we're doing this right now. So those of you that are watching after the fact here, I'm sorry. And those of you listening in podcast form, I'm also sorry. There's no way he was down. He fumbled through the end zone. That's going to be a touchback. Let's see. Was he down? That's a fumble. Oh my gosh, he fumbled through the end zone for a touchback. Unbelievable. So you had that. Detroit deserves it. I mean, haven't been in the NFC Championship since before I was born. Think about that. Since before I was born, and just the story of the NFL season is the Detroit Lions for sure. That is a fumble, and it goes through the end zone. Chiefs ball. Unbelievable. Lamar Jackson's the MVP of the league. Deserved it for sure. And Lamar had the same kind of narrative, right? That Dak Prescott had. Couldn't win in the playoffs. Only had one playoff win. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. He was special. And then the 49ers really got lucky. What a brain fart, too, by Jordan Love there at the very end of the game. I mean, he's been poised and confident and comfortable in his 2 playoff games, and then really just made a horrible, unnecessary decision there. But the 49ers overcame. I know what the weather was. I know it was raining. It was bad quarterback play, though. Brock Purdy was not good at all in that game, and that roster can do that and overcome that against Green Bay. That roster cannot do that and cannot overcome that against Detroit. I don't think. Purdy's got to be much, much better than he was to overcome that. So we can get to basketball, too, if you guys want to. Mississippi State won and took care of business. It was Vanderbilt. Just win and move on. You avoid that net bomb. I think with the win, State's net went down because that's how bad Vanderbilt is. It's just one of those things. It doesn't matter what it looks like. And they were in comfortable control throughout, really. Vanderbilt made a little mini run in the second half and ended up covering the spread on a last-second shot. But you just win and move on. And for Ole Miss, for you podcast listeners, you already heard me talk about it. But long story short, they didn't play well enough to even give themselves a chance. Winning on the road in college basketball is already difficult enough. Winning in that environment against that team is extremely difficult. They didn't shoot the ball well. They pressed. They made silly mistakes. Jalen Murray's got to get more shots. Matt Morrell's got to get more shots, and they've got to get Flanagan and Brakefield out of the isolation stuff that they tried to do. It's just a recipe for disaster. So there's some thoughts. We'll get to your messages as this game continues on, and I will probably hang up with you guys before this game ends because what is unfolding is absolutely incredible. But I'm glad you guys are here. I appreciate you very, very much. These streams and these videos are getting watched more and more, and for that I thank you because it's really cool to see you guys care enough to watch this, even though it's not like focused. It's not just an Ole Miss thing. It's not just a state thing. It's just kind of whatever I'm feeling at the time, and you guys are here, so thank you for that. And let's get to it. Tim says, "What's up to everybody? Glad to see you, Tim. How was my weekend? My weekend was really good, man. So I went to there's a there's a half shell location like right outside of my neighborhood, basically. And I've never just sat at the bar and had a drink there. Never done it. I don't know why. And I did that yesterday. I had a free like hour and a half to myself, and so I went and watched football and had some oysters. It was great. And then today, little man and I just we drove around the neighborhood on his bike for like 2 hours, even though it was freezing. There was a fire. Somebody's backyard caught on fire. So while we were driving in the neighborhood, we got to watch fire trucks put a fire out, and he thought that was just the coolest thing we've ever done. I mean, I was dad of the year for somebody's backyard getting caught on fire, and it seemed like everybody was okay. By the way, I'm only smiling because it did not appear to affect their house. Everything seemed to be fine, other than having to replace a fence, it appears. And then we ate some pizza and watched Luca twice because that's what 4-year-olds want to do. I mean, it was a great weekend, man. Thanks for asking. I appreciate you. Why am I streaming during this amazing Bills Chiefs game? Because I'm insane, Edward, and I need the money. No, I'm kidding. I just trying to stay on schedule, I suppose. Any news on wide receivers coaching search? No news. I do think that they might have that wrapped up pretty soon. There's been some interviews, as I understand it, and so that could get wrapped up pretty soon. Who it will be, I don't know, quite frankly, but I do think it's not going to be much longer. Could be wrong. I really could be wrong. And now that I said that, I'm probably going to be wrong. But I do think that we'll find out here soon who Ole Miss is going to replace Derek Nix with. Auburn might be winning the Natty next year with Derek Nix as OC, by the way their fans talk. Yeah, that is, it's very odd. And it's odd until you kind of think about it and unpack it a little bit. So I've got a 4-year-old son. When he acts out, there's a reason why. And it's not the reason that he's acting out about, right? So earlier today, we had to go to the pet store to get some stuff. And he didn't want to get in his car seat. And so I put him in his car seat because he didn't want to get in. I just picked him up and put him in there. And then he got upset with me because I wouldn't let him do it himself, but he didn't want to do it himself. So what that tells me is he's not upset because I didn't let him get in the car seat himself. He was acting out because something else is wrong. Considering how fast he fell asleep, he skipped his nap today. He was tired. That's what was going on. He was acting like that because something else was wrong. And that's you kind of have to read kids that way, because not everything that upsets him is actually what is upsetting him. Not every misbehavior is because of the thing that is the most obvious. Auburn fans are like my 4-year-old right now. They're acting out about Derek Nix, not because they're happy that they hired a wide receivers coach who has never coordinated an offense before, ever, has never called plays before, to be their sole OC. That's not why they're acting out. That's not why they're pretending like it's this huge win and trying to rub it in Kiffin's face. They're doing that because they're projecting a different feeling. That other feeling is they are starting to realize what people told them was going to come with Hugh Freeze. That's what they're doing. And it's twofold. It's also because Lane Kiffin told them no, and that really bothers them. It really bothers them that Lane Kiffin told them no. And despite what people over there think, Lane Kiffin told them no. Absolutely told them no. Like, I don't do the sources thing because I don't really have many. I have some, but I don't have many. But I have as impeccable of sourcing as you can possibly have on that. And also, Kiffin himself has admitted it out loud. But you can choose not to believe him if you want. You can choose not to believe me, but he told them no. Does whatever. So they're wanting to get back at Kiffin because he told them no. But also, they're projecting. They're projecting because owning Kiffin is a lot better than reality. And reality is Auburn had an offensive coordinator job open where the head coach said, you will be calling plays. So, or excuse me, where the head coach said he will be calling plays. But still, you had Auburn had an offensive coordinator opening. Auburn, an SEC job. There's only 16 SEC jobs. What a throw. Oh, he caught that too. There's only 16 offensive coordinator jobs in the SEC available, and one came open at a place that has kind of recently won a national championship. And nobody wanted it. That's what happened. Nobody wanted it. That's why you hire a wide receivers coach and give him a massive promotion with more money to fit that role, because you couldn't hire somebody that's done it before. And they know that, and they see that, and they realize with the staff turnover, the initial staff for one, but the staff turnover and the candidates for their replacements, that the Rolodex for their coach is as small as people told them it would be. And instead of acknowledging that and talking about that and realizing that, they are projecting at Lane Kiffin as, oh, we got you. Whereas you had to give a title that he was never going to get at Ole Miss. You had to make somebody that's never called plays before your OC, no co-title, your OC, just to get somebody to agree to take that job. That's reality. And when you don't want to face reality, you project a different emotion. The reality for my 4-year-old earlier today at the pet store was he was really tired. He was tired. He skipped his nap today. He was tired. And so when I told him to get in his car seat and he wouldn't, and I put him in his car seat and he got upset because I wouldn't let him do it, he was projecting his tiredness. Auburn's reaction to this is that of a toddler. This game is like a good versus evil. And I understand that, true. And I want Buffalo to win this game as well. But I like Patrick Mahomes. I think that when it comes to American sports stars, he's a good one, man. And I know people have things to say about his wife, but married a girl he'd been with for a long time. You don't hear anything bad about him at all. He seems to be a wonderful teammate. There's worse people to look up to than Patrick Mahomes, I'll tell you. But yeah, I'm sick of the Chiefs. I want some new blood. I think Buffalo and those people deserve it. I really like Josh Allen, and I want them to win this game. I want a Buffalo versus Detroit Super Bowl. I don't think we're going to get it, but that's what I want. Yeah, you're right. There's a date where you have to enter the portal, but you only have to choose a school in time to get enrolled before your new school's ad drop day. Yeah, and you can be in the portal and not enroll in a school now and then do it after the spring as well. It cracks me up how this is just an endless cycle. Like there's no breaks. Because even, Tucker, I know you're a State fan. So like Blake Shapen, he's not going to. So I'm not saying this. He's not going to do this. But Blake Shapen could, in theory, get back in the portal. Let's pretend for a second that he really doesn't like Jeff Lebby's system. He spends the 15 practices in the spring and thinks, ooh, this sucks. I got a call from this school, and I like that. He could leave in theory. So even when you get these guys enrolled in the January period, they could still leave. It's something. It is something. I don't feel bad for the coaches though, because of what they make. I feel bad for the staffers, the low level, the entry level staffers that are making not a whole lot of money. They're the ones that are having to grind like hell for 12, 15 hours a day, every single day. And they're not getting $9 million a year. That's why I feel bad for. Please win Buffalo. I can't handle Taylor anymore. How about this, by the way? See if I can find this. This was sent in a group message earlier. Yes, it was. Okay. So when Taylor Swift was walking into the stadium, so here's the picture. That's her in the red hat walking into the stadium. Right there is a kid holding a sign, and this is what the sign is. It is the meme, the meme of the girl like looking back at a guy that's better looking than the guy she's walking with, but it's Taylor Swift looking at Josh Allen. And you can see Kelsey's face in there too. I know that this camera sucks, so you're not going to see it very well. But that's what the kid was holding up, and she saw it as she's walking to the stadium. He's holding that poster up at her. I loved that. I really did. Yeah, they show Taylor Swift too much. They do. They really do. Pacheco's an absolute beast. Yeah, he is. My goodness. Buffalo didn't have 11 players on the field for that fake punt. Wow. Wow. See, obviously I don't have audio since I'm talking to you guys. So that's a weird spot to do that too. I mean, you're only down 3 and you've got an entire fourth quarter to play. It didn't feel like that was. I mean, maybe you liked the look and you catch them off guard or whatever, but that was a weird spot to do that. Baltimore seems like the best team by a mile. Defensively, they're unbelievable. I mean, that was a Texans offense that, I mean, threw the ball well, and Stroud impressed me yesterday, despite their offense struggling. Just that's his first road playoff game, as a rookie with a rookie head coach too, who's phenomenal, by the way. The Texans are here to stay. They're going to be around for a long time. But I was impressed by Stroud yesterday, and I was impressed by Stroud because I know how unbelievably nasty that Baltimore defense is. And if you're not able to stop Lamar at one thing, if he can get you doing both, I mean, you can try to keep him in the pocket and not let him beat you with his legs. But, I mean, he's still got a group of receivers that are really good, and he can obviously distribute the football. But if you're going to let him throw the ball and also give him running lanes, then you have no shot. He's just on point right now. Everything Baltimore has, I think, is all around better than everybody else left for sure. You said, "Come on, BJ Green to Ole Miss." If he got to campus, if he did in fact arrive today, like has been reported, then you should really like Ole Miss's chances to land him. I mean, the semester starts in like 3 days, so if he's showing up. And because of Barron's absence, you've got the money to spend that you would have spent on Barron. So it's there for sure. State just needed a breezy win. The only SEC game they've played that wasn't within 10 points was the loss at Kentucky. Yeah, exactly. And going into it on Friday on the radio show, I said that it would be a game that would test their maturity because although, look, the State fans did a good job. The crowd was good. It was a little bit sleepy because it's Vanderbilt on a Saturday afternoon. It should be sleepy. There's no reason for that game to have crazy energy. I mean, I don't blame anybody at all for not having like a big time, like intimidating environment for Vanderbilt. I get it. But it was going to be a sleepy environment against a really bad team with more important games ahead. And they just took care of business. Struggled a little bit early. It was kind of, and then really just they were better and they played like it and took care of business and kept them at an appropriate distance. And that's all they needed to do. And then you just move on. You avoid that bomb and you move on. No matter what happens with Ole Miss basketball this year is better than the last 3. And that's the thing. Look, they played like crap yesterday. They got blown out by Auburn. They're not the last team that's going to get blown out by Auburn this year, but I really thought the reaction to that loss was a little bizarre. Some fans were like, oh, just too reactionary. That was always going to be a loss. Now, it shouldn't have looked like that, and they've been really poor on the road. But if you beat a struggling Arkansas team at home on Wednesday, you're right back on track to make the tournament. And the fact that we're even having that conversation with this program at the moment, considering what Chris Beard took over, is truly remarkable. And so if what happened Saturday keeps you away from the game on Wednesday, I don't mean to say it like this, but that's a you problem. I mean, they are far ahead of schedule right now, far ahead of schedule. Make threes builds the confidence level for inside scoring as well. It just spaces out of defense too. Just spaces out of defense. Auburn fans are just trying to use anything to mask the fact that they lost out on Kiffin. You and I on the same boat. Connor, my neighbor, sort of. What's up? I say my neighbor. I have no idea if you live in my neighborhood or not, but you say you're from Madison. Me too, brother. Glad you are here. You loved the 4-year-old comparison. It's about right. Spot the lie, you know? Spot the lie. Hugh Freeze is a great coach. Just got to learn the new portal era. I don't know if great is the adjective I would use anymore. It almost feels like Freeze's seat is warmer than we all may think. Meddling kills. Well, they better take a big step forward. Jerry and Pascagoula, glad to see you, man. Glad to see you. I need to spend. I am going to spend some time. He's asleep, right? He can't hear me. We are going to spend some time on the coast in March for my quote birthday, because it's my birthday weekend. But monster trucks are coming to the coast, and this little dude loves him some monster trucks, and so we're going to go to the monster truck show down there, and I can't wait. I love the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I say it all the time. Josh Allen just threw the ball 100 yards downfield, and it went right through the hands of. My gosh, what a throw! Anyway, and I make fun of people that like fawn over incompletions, but that dude's got a cannon. Anyway, the Mississippi Gulf Coast is the most underrated part of anything in the South. It truly is. I love Ocean Springs especially, but I love the coast, man. People talk down on the coast up here, and I don't know what's wrong with you. If you can't go to the coast and have a great time, that's a you problem. That's not a coast problem. But yeah, we're going to the Monster Truck Show. I can't wait. No matter what you think about Mississippi, the retirement is not bad, and Nix was 4 years away. Dude must love Freeze. I think it's different. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think that he may already have some level or something, but it's not that he loves Freeze so much as he gets the title that he wasn't going to get at Ole Miss, and that title will open you up for opportunities to be a head coach, which seemingly that's what he wants to be. And so that it's more money, probably a multi-year guaranteed contract, because they have to do that to hire people at Auburn. But it's a path to becoming a head coach. And if Freeze gets fired soon, and he's still on staff, then somebody will pick him up the next day. I mean, it's a no-lose situation for him, because nobody's going to buy the throwing under the bus thing this time. I mean, nobody's going to buy it. Not one person. So if he tries to blame not himself for bad offense again, then nobody's going to believe it. So Auburn can take all of Ole Miss's coaches, and Hugh Freeze will still let up a 4th and 30. Yeah, more tampering going on than ever before. It's just part of the game. It's just what it is now. You've heard Freeze is trying to hire DJ Durkin. Wasn't he also going to take a position coach job at Alabama? Wasn't that a thing? Again, shows you how small the Rolodex is. Had his best OC in DC in 2014. They were really good back then. That defense was unbelievable. Bills need to win just to end the Taylor Swift stuff. Jerry says Auburn fans are talking smack and smoking crack. Okay. You bet against Josh Allen tonight? Well, it depends on what you bet. Did you bet like his player prop? Because that's a mistake. But there's a chance they still lose this game. Spring portal can't transfer in conference without sitting a year. In the SEC, they cannot. So if like Jaden Williams, for example, at Ole Miss, I don't know if he's going to. I'm just using an example. If he doesn't seem to be satisfied with the likelihood that he won't start, he could enter the portal, and just he wouldn't be allowed to go to an SEC school. Here's hoping that the Pels have better shooting performance Tuesday night. Friday was a major disappointment. It's almost impossible to shoot as bad as they did. Scott Kushner said it the best. They're like allergic to big games, man. I really like the team. I know there's some talk about making some trades at the deadline, and I get it. But if they move on from Jonas, I'm going to be so mad. But um, they're a good shooting team, but they had this big moment and a sold out crowd, and Devin Booker goes off, and they've got nobody that can match that. I mean, as good as Zion is, and as good as Brandon Ingram is, and as good as CJ McCollum is, none of them have shown the ability to do what Devin Booker did to them on Friday night. That said a lot about them. They're not there yet. Maybe they can never be there. I don't know. But that was the difference between a championship team and a team that can win a playoff series, was a player that can do that. And Devin Booker can do that. Can Zion like that? I haven't seen that yet. So between Mississippi and Alabama, those are the four of the best basketball coaches in the country. Who would have thought you'd say that a decade ago? Not me. Certainly not me. But man, I've said this forever, and I've had people push back on me. There is a basketball fan base in the state of Mississippi. There is one, and there's always been one. People care about basketball here. We just didn't give them a reason to. And because of that, it looks like nobody cares, but they do. Three of the top 10, I know the NBA is different from college, but three of the top 10 highest rated NBA markets when it comes to people that watch the NBA in that market. Three of the top 10 are Memphis, New Orleans, and Birmingham. That's three of the top 10. Draw lines from Memphis to New Orleans and Birmingham to Memphis. What's in the middle of that triangle? It's Mississippi. I know it's a baseball state and we care about college baseball a whole hell of a lot, but there's a basketball fan base here too. They just haven't had a reason to care. Maybe you'll see me at the Monster Truck Show. We'll be there. We will be there. Gravedigger better be there. I know he had like something happened at the Nashville show, I think. But Gravedigger's our favorite. We've got a couple of those, and buddy, we love him, so he better be there. Check out Big Play afterwards. Certainly we'll do that. Vibe check from Key West. Lucky you, man. What are you doing watching me? Go to the bar. Go to the bar. What are you doing? No, I appreciate you. I've never been to Key West, and I would absolutely love to do so. I hear great things about that. Have I seen the theory of the Super Bowl colors and teams the last 3 years? I have not. Please tell me. What was my major at Ole Miss? Broadcast journalism. I went to J school, majored in broadcasting. They had a radio station, an on-campus radio station, where I did an audition, I think my sophomore year. And the two students that ran it told me that that I wasn't good enough, and they thanked me for my my inquiry, but didn't think that they could use me in any way. I would love to know what the two of them are doing right now, but that was a little cocky. Forgive me, but it's one of those stories, and everybody's got one where somebody told you that you can't do it, and then you end up doing it. Like I could get fired tomorrow, and I would still feel vindicated for that. Anyway. I did broadcasting, and my minor was English. I'm sure a lot has changed since I've been there, but what you need to do, Jack, it doesn't matter if you work in the J school or if you go and get a journalism degree or not, although that would help. You just need to do it. And that was something that nobody told me at the time. I was, especially after that audition, I kind of just gave up the idea that I was going to be able to do this, frankly. I kind of thought, okay, well, I'll get my degree and then I'll go work in public relations or something, because if I can't even get on my student radio station, then I sure as hell can't get on a real one, you know? So I kind of just went through the motions after that and just got a degree and got really lucky with with the job that I got initially at Super Talk, which was in sales. Took a sales gig, and then I got in with the guys at Red Cup, and they wanted to start a podcast, and I was like, okay, I want to show my employer that I can do this, and we started a podcast, and it got good enough to the point where my employer told me, stop doing that because you're going to do that for us. And they took me off of sales and put me on air, and that was 8 years ago, 8.5 years ago. So, long story short, Jack, just get reps. Whether it's you write and do it all too. Be on video, record podcasts, and write. Do it all. Whether it's you just do it on your own and you don't publish it anywhere, or you get hooked up with somebody like the guys at Red Cup or Grove Report or HottieToddy.com, something like that. Just do it on your own, because one, I don't think that you should be like anybody but yourself. I'm giving you a long-winded answer, and for those of you that don't care about this, sorry, but I'm just talking to Jack here. In my opinion, you shouldn't mold what you do to fit a window. You shouldn't write like other people write. You shouldn't broadcast like other. Whatever you want to do, you should do what you do and how you do it. Find your style and your voice and do it that way. And sometimes I've learned that, especially looking back at my college experience, as good as it was like, they talked about doing it a certain way. Don't do it a certain way. Do it your way. Find your voice. And the only way you can do that is by giving yourself reps, create your own reps with YouTube and with podcasting and all that. You don't need an internship. You don't need to be on the student radio station to figure out what you do and what you like and what you want to do. So I don't know if that made sense or not. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to talk more. Not that I'd be great at giving advice. I mean, I'm kind of a nobody, but I would still be happy to help and in any way that I can. So if you win, especially in basketball, people will show up and care. You think there are a select few that don't think baseball and basketball can coexist and try to tell anyone that will listen their terrible opinion. I hate Tucker. I hate that so much. It's not even funny, because why would you want that to be true? You know what I mean? Not only is it not true, you can be competitive at both of them. We've seen it. It can be done. But why would you even think that would be a smart institutional decision? Why would you want to punt from November to the end of March? Why would you want that period of time to not matter for your athletic department? Please help me understand why anybody thinks that it makes sense. You've heard some stories from friends in Goodman about Deion Smith. Yeah. Academics keep rearing their ugly head. And it's good that Ole Miss is not going to be dependent on him to have the wide receiver core that they think that they can have. I mean, they've got 3 starters already with Harris and Watkins and Juice Wells. And then you had like Caden Lee, for example, come on late in the season. You had, you still have Aiden Williams, who's got the upside, just, couldn't really find his way on the field for a couple of reasons. But it's not like they need him to make their offense go. They've already got 3 proven SEC guys that, can do it, and 2 of them have done it for you already. And there's a couple of depth pieces emerging behind them that are not Deion Smith. They're okay if he doesn't show up. Now, he would be an absolute luxury if he does, but it's not a necessity. Right? Like if Princely Umanmielen for some reason was having academic issues, then you really need to wonder, like, what the hell are they going to do? That would be a very, forgive my language, that would be a very oh shit kind of thing if word came out that Princely was having academic issues, which he's not. Everything's fine there, but it's different when it's him. So Einstein could not get a job teaching, so you're in good company. I did not know that, but um, I used to have a fraternity brother that would say, not only C's get degrees, but the C students are the ones that are going to be hiring the A students. Always cracks me up. Um, Not the case for me yet, but maybe one day. Here's Buffalo to tie with 1:40 left. They still have 2 timeouts, so this won't end the game if he misses it. And he missed it. He shanked it. Oh my gosh. Oh no. That wasn't even close. They've still got time, right? I mean, but all Kansas City needs is 1 first down and it's over. Oh my gosh. He pushed it. That was horrible. Oh my gosh. Oh no. We're really going to get an oh man. Oh, that's a shame. Wow. Wow. You say thanks for you sound like Mox on Varsity Blues. Is that good or bad? No, it's I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Robert. Thank you, man. So here it is. We might as well just stay live for this. I was gonna hang up, but if you guys are watching this game, then we're gonna follow it. 1 first down is all they need. Oh, and Pacheco gets 9. That's gonna end the game. Watch. Because Buffalo already called timeout. Wow. Wow. What a shame. Is Twitter absolutely blowing up? Probably is. My goodness. And I apologize to those of you listening in podcast form, but you put a player prop on Josh Allen to have less than 24 fantasy points. Whoops. But hey, he's still he's still going to lose. What a terrible way to lose, man. He also missed a guy that looked like he was wide open in the end zone too. A couple plays before that, still missed the field goal. So, man, that kind of a choke, right? You're an NFL kicker, and you miss that poorly with the game on the line. Here's second down, first down, ball game. Wow, that is such a shame. Oh man, what a shame. Gosh dang it. Go Ravens. Gosh, I'm disappointed. Anyway. So you guys want to talk about anything else now? I'm crushed. What a great game though. What a great weekend of football. The only blowout you got was the Texans game. Early yesterday. That was a 24-point game, but last night it was a 49ers won by 3. Today it was an 8-point win for the Lions, but the Bucs had the ball with the chance to go tie, and then the Chiefs win by 3. So a hell of a weekend of football. So Nick Dunlap with the W. Wow. Chiefs Ravens Sunday at 2:00 on CBS. Lions 49ers Sunday at 5:30 on Fox. Those are your conference championship games. So heck yeah, Gluckstad's growing like crazy too, man. If you see me, say hello anytime. I've usually got little tiny human that looks like me with me, but don't be afraid to say hey, man. If you see me, I don't go out much to be honest with you, but anyway. So I appreciate you guys. I've got a lot that I've got to get done before the morning. So I know this is kind of all over the place and scattered, but I appreciate you. We'll be more locked in and buttoned down on Tuesday, talking. We'll focus back in. We'll talk some portal stuff because I think there's going to be some movement between now and then. News always comes up. You guys know that. So in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll talk to you on Tuesday night. Y'all be good.